Our mission is make your money make a statement. We built this site for casual investors who want to make sure their money is going toward companies that get high marks when it comes to environment, sustainability, and human rights metrics. We have 3 key tasks we want people to be able to accomplish: educate, investigate, and explore. Educate is a narrative section that's designed to give people a background on investing basics as well as the basics of sustainably responsible investing. So you can read through these sections to get an understanding of the information that will help you move through this site. Once you've done so, move on to investigate. So we're bringing together a lot of data sources from different entities that are assessing companies on these metrics, and we wanted to guide users through just basic insights that are important that we found in the data. So first up, Human Rights Campaign. So one thing we noticed was that there are a lot of companies that are making strong year-over-year gains and some that are losing ground. So we used a divergent color scale to plot the year-over-year change in score when it comes to human rights metrics. You can hover over these bars to find companies as well as their recommendations. So is it a good time to buy this stock? You would want to find a company that lands over here and is also listed as a moderate buy or maybe a strong buy. And you would potentially want to avoid companies that landed over here and have slid backwards. We also noticed that there are a lot of companies that get perfect scores when it comes to HRC. So in this chart, we've organized them by category. Sorting by count allows you to get a general sense for which category does the best. And if you want more specific information, you can sort by market cap. And the larger the box, the lower the risk of the investment, because generally market caps that are high lead to lower risk investments. We also have data on greenhouse gas emissions coming from the CDP. So we've looked at this a couple of ways. Again, we've organized by category just to get a sense for how many companies fall in these different categories of energy, finance, etc. But what's important is looking at this in a grouped section because the data is organized by performance band. So companies with performance band A are the top performers, whereas E are the worst performers when it comes to carbon emissions. So you would want to look for a sector that has lots of A and perhaps B performers, and we see consumer services is the lead here. You can look more closely at the financial data of those companies, sorting by performance band in this chart below. And you can also get a sense for how many raw metric tons of CO2 output. So you can look for the low output companies. We also have data from the CDP on deforestation and water security. If this is something that matters to you, you can look through this dashboard, which again brings together the financials and then also their ranking and assessment for water and forest risk. So again, a divergent color scale. You want to get a good return on your investment, so you want to look for the darker blue bars, which represent higher returns. You also want to look for companies that have been designated as not being detrimental and not having water risk. The forest ratings chart works similarly. So up until now, we've talked about stocks, but there's also mutual funds to consider. The US SIF categorizes mutual funds based on their environment, social, governance, and product assessments. We use small multiples here. And so on the left y-axis are the different fund types, and on the top x-axis are the different types of assessments, so environment, governance, social, etc. We've put the performance ratings on an ordinal scale, so the darker the dot, the better the rating. And so you can pick a category that matters to you and just look for a fund category that has strong representation with those darker dots. And then if you want to get into the details a little bit further, you can go down here and see more specific details about those funds. So once you've moved through the investigate section, it's time to explore. So for exploration, we've just brought all of the data we could together, and we've built two dashboards, one for funds and one for stocks. And so what this does is allow you to look at an even more granular level at some of the metrics that have already been discussed. So you can go through the fund data and you can go through the stock data, and you can select the metrics that are of importance to you, and there's even a more granular level here in terms of human rights metrics, forest risk and water risk and things like that. And once you've been able to explore that, hopefully you have the information you feel you need to make smart investments.